And welcome to another edition of Beyond the Endzone. It has been a minute. We're starting a little late. It's been a crazy day. If you have not seen the big news out of college basketball, obviously big time announcement, coming from college basketball, a point shaving scheme. It does involve a Southern Miss basketball player, I want to make that very clear, former Southern Miss basketball player. But that is a big reason why we are starting a little bit later. I've been trying to get all my information correct in here so I can give y'all the latest update on that. But yeah, that's the big breaking news right now. But that's not the only thing we're going to be talking about. First of all, thank you to all that tuned into our coverage out there in Arizona last week. It was an experience of a lifetime for me. I can't say thank you enough to all my colleagues, bosses, and all you, the viewers, that make this possible. It was once in a lifetime experience, like I said, and obviously Ole Miss did fall just short. What a game it was! It was a classic, like we talked about. But it's been a minute since I've been on here. What a run it was, though, for Ole Miss. We'll kind of talk about that, as well as the national championship game. I know my Ole Miss fans are not going to love that, but I do want to give my take on that game. Interesting game. Indiana, very hot. Miami, the brand and everything. Does that play a factor? We'll talk about that, obviously. And then we got some NFL football before that game. So we're going to talk about all of that and much more. But man, it's been a crazy ride covering those Ole Miss Rebels. Want to say thank y'all one last time here for that experience. And I think we could be seeing something similar for next year if everything works out. They're looking like we're going to run it back. But without further ado, I do want to hit on this big, massive news today. It really kind of shook up college basketball. If you don't remember, a couple months ago, the NBA got hit on something similar. Guess what? It looks like it's all tied together. Don't want to get into any speculation here. Let's get into the facts that we do know. First of all, let's get right into it. The federal prosecutors have charged at least 20 people in a basketball game rigging scheme, which includes former Southern Miss men's basketball player Mo Arnold and two unnamed USM players. Those two unnamed USM players were in the indictment. Their names were not involved, obviously, as charges will come forward. But according to court documents, this all started back in 2022 in the Chinese Basketball Association. The indictment claims the fixers also enlisted college basketball players to fix NCAA games. The players were recruited to make sure there were certain outcomes in games. We've seen situations where they're asking these players to cover a certain amount for half. So you're covering, that spread you see in these games, 4.5 point favorites. They're asking these players to cover that certain amount at halftime or during games. This when player props were still a thing. A player is projected to have 6.5 points in a situation where you get involved in this. The people could be asking you to get under or over. They put a lot of money on this, and we were seeing fixers place millions of dollars in waivers, and the participating players, were paid hundreds of thousands of those dollars. The defendants are charged with bribery in sporting contests and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. For Arnold himself, he has been charged with 3 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of aiding and abetting, and a count each for bribery in sporting contests and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Obviously, we did want to bring y'all that update. Very, very interesting situation. We don't want to put a bad light on Southern Miss basketball or any of these schools that are involved. You can find the very extensive reports out there right now. AP and ESPN have been kind of strong holding this, but it's a sad situation, right? I don't want to go into too much of a rant here, but the second you lose the purity in sports, you lose the sport, right? You lose everything with it. Everything it teaches you, from hard work, dedication, fairness. I mean, that's it. All that matters is the result at the end. And I know a lot of people are attacking betting and online betting with this. It's a situation for me where sports betting is here. It's not going anywhere. I think we're going to see states like even here in Mississippi adopt it at some point, just because of the economic impact that it has for these states. When you have all this money flowing in, you don't see these states just say, no, we don't want that money anymore. So it's here to stay. There just got to be some guardrails on this. They've already started to implement some of these things. I know in college sports, they got rid of player props, which is, like I said earlier, those point totals for certain players, hitting under or over. you can get some people to bet on those things and make money off of that. So getting rid of that was a good first step, but there's something more here. And it's obviously a developing situation. We don't want to act like we have all the facts here, but did want to bring that to y'all's attention, and we will continue to update you on air and online as we continue to get more information on this. This is going to be a very long process. Like I said, it got started, even a year ago, if we want to be honest, with the Giante Porter situation when he was in the NBA. It seems like this is all tied back together. But yeah, very sad situation for sport, for college basketball. We had some incredible games last night. I don't want to pivot into something just completely off the radar here, but it is in college basketball. These Ole Miss Rebels hasn't been an incredible season for them this year, not doing what we kind of expected them to do this year, but I got to show you all this ending here last night. It was so special, ladies and gentlemen. It came down to the wire. They get this ball off to AJ Storr. He's looking to pull up right here. It's going to be a little up, but no worries. The freshman Patton Pickens is there for the game winner in overtime. The Rebels take down number 21 Georgia. What a finish it was. What a scene this was. It was really, really special to see last night. I was keeping up with it for our highlights in the late show. And when I was cutting these highlights, it gets to the overtime period. You just start watching the game completely, forgetting that you got to cut these highlights. It's been such an incredible game. And then obviously that ending was special. Shout out to Ole Miss, big time win in a very, very, very tough SEC. We saw a bunch of game winners last night. One also in the SEC, Kentucky and LSU. That was a special ending. The SMU game winner from half court. I don't know if y'all saw that. Go look that up. That was a special ending as well. College basketball is delivering right now on the court. Obviously, don't want to take away from the crazy situation that is taking place on a bigger level. And like I said, we'll continue to bring you more updates on that. But yeah, Ole Miss, they won on that buzzer beater. It was special. I freaked out. I jumped out of my chair. I couldn't believe it. Great game by them. It got to a point there when you get into those 90s against a team like Georgia. Can Ole Miss keep up? Well, they did. And that could be a win that gets things rolling for this team. A lot of talent on that team. It's kind of shocking the season they've had so far. Still a lot of basketball yet to be played. But we do want to kind of talk about some other things here, and we're going to get into some football. Obviously, the season is over, but we still got some interesting things that have happened recently. I got to shout out my boy Tyler Shuck out here. He is a Rookie of the Year finalist for the fan vote. Yes, you can go out there and vote for him. What a season he had leading, the Saints after their really abysmal start. And it really looks like the Saints have a guy, right? They have a guy for the future. Not just, the fans saying, hey, looks like we at least have a quarterback. I mean, when you hear from these players, I really suggest that you listen to Cam Jordan's podcast. Tyler Shuck came on. It's really good to hear from Shuck and hear from Cam Jordan, the vet in the room, and how much respect he has for a Tyler Shuck. Very good podcast, and it's, excuse me there, I didn't mean to hit the mic, but it's really good to see, even though he had that small sample size this year, what he did this year was really impressive, and he's up there with a bunch of really good players. Don't want to discount any of these other guys, Terrell McMillan, Jackson Dart, a lot of great rookies this year. In my opinion, I think Shuck has earned it, especially with that run he had in December. Didn't close out the season with a win, but man, he looked good in his time and looked like a vet as a rookie. And I get he's 26, older guy. How many prime years do you have with him? But I don't care too much about that. Can he throw the ball? Is he a good leader? And it seems like he's got those two qualities right there, and he's going to continue to grow. But did want to shout that out. You can go out there and vote on the NFL's website, NFL.com, for Rookie of the Year if you want to see your boy Shuck get that award. Another kind of award, I guess. I mean, it's technically more of an honor here. You're going to see an old face here in these highlights. You see carrying that rock. That is Mark Ingram. Yesterday afternoon, we got the big news. Former New Orleans Saint Mark Ingram was named to the 2026 College Football Hall of Fame class. Ingram was the first ever Alabama player to win the Heisman Trophy for the university back in 2009, leading the Tide to a 14-0 record and national championship. He led the SEC that year. I forgot how many yards he had this season. I remember watching him. It was an incredible season to watch. He led the SEC that year in rushing yards with an Alabama record 1,658 yards and scored 20 touchdowns. Unbelievable, man. He played 12 years in the NFL and, of course, became a lifelong fan favorite down there in the Big Easy. One of my favorite players of all time, Mark Ingram, just obviously for his play on the field and, coming into a situation where, Saints weren't what they were, on those last few years he was with the Saints. And he stuck around, and it wasn't the easiest start for him. Kind of people were, is he going to be the Heisman, level player? And he ended up having a heck of an NFL career, and was happy to see that. Well-deserved. The class is insane, by the way, for the college football, the 2026 college football Hall of Fame class. Dominic Sue, he was in there. I mean, a lot of really, really good players. But Mark Ingram, among many, is well-deserving to make it into that. And I just want to shout out my boy Mark Ingram, one of my favorites of all time for the New Orleans Saints. Boom and Zoom back in the day when Alvin was a rook, and we'll never forget that. But let's get into what we got coming up this weekend. Obviously, we got some big games, and we're going to start in the NFL. Let's get into some game picks to close out this episode. Boom, right there. Actually, I want y'all to see my beautiful face as well. There y'all go. It's y'all's pleasure, right? All right, let's get into it. Obviously, divisional round madness. I did mess up that at the top. It's supposed to be divisional round, but wow. Well, first of all, let's talk about that wild card weekend. Unbelievable games, besides that Monday night game. And it really was, for three quarters, a pretty dang good game. So very, very happy with the NFL slate last week. Of course, NFL playoffs are always going to deliver. It's just a nice reminder how good these teams are. Even when we go into that Rams-Carolina game, Carolina is like the black sheep of the entire run here. They're a terrible record, NFC South, but they go out there and nearly beat the Rams. It was an incredible football game. It just proves that these NFL teams, you don't know who's going to win. And then you got these games this week. Unbelievable. I mean, just looking at these four games right now, I've been really running around with this Southern Miss stuff and this college basketball stuff. I haven't had a chance to really sit down and really, really think about these games. So I'm going to be going a little bit off the cuff here, but let's get going. Only got a little bit of time left here on this show, but let's get right into it. Bills, Broncos, Denver, 1.5 point favorites here. Some people are starting to call the Denver Broncos frauds. Oh man, I don't know. That defense doesn't look fraudulent. Now the offense, it gets the job done, but when you got Sean Payton as your coach, man, it's hard to. For me, it's hard to bet against him being a New Orleans Saints homer over here. But man, what an interesting game this one is. Broncos Bills. Oh man, gosh, that's one of the toughest games to pick. Every part of me wants to say the Bills are going to win this game, but it's the Broncos. The Broncos have been so good this year and proven everybody wrong. Gosh, I'm going to be rooting for the Broncos, but right here, right now, I'm going to say the Bills pull it off. This has to be their year. No Patty Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson. You have no excuse. No Joe Burrow. You have no excuses. You have to get to the Super Bowl this year if you're Josh Allen. Give me the Bills. I think they keep on rolling. 49ers, Seahawks. Another game on Saturday. This is the night game. Third time around. Who wins it this time? Give me the Seahawks. They're 7-point favorites. That's a little shocking when I first saw that, but I really like the Seahawks in this game. I think we've been hearing all about Sam Darnold. Can he do it in the playoffs? I'm tired of that narrative. We got my boy here, Doug. We're tired of it. I think he actually goes out there and has an incredible football game. The 49ers, so much fights, just no quit. Got so much love for that team after all the injuries they have faced. Now George Kittle out. There's only so many injuries you can endure, though, before it catches up to you. I really like the Seahawks in this one, and I kind of want to say double digits in that game. Patriots, Texans, what an interesting matchup this is. Incredible defenses. The Texans defense is the best defense in the league, bar none. Don't even want to have a conversation about it. One of the best defenses I've ever seen. Really reminds me of that Denver Broncos defense back when Von Miller was rolling, and many more other great defenses. They're just so fast. They don't miss tackles. They're always in the right position. Their communication is unbelievable. They really don't do anything crazy. They're not running exotic blitzes and stuff. They know their job and they know exactly what they need to do. Really like the Texans defense, but man, something about this Patriots team I really like. This is the problem when you don't think about the games beforehand. Then you start flip-flopping, you get a little waffling on these picks. I'm going to have to say, oh, man. Give me the Patriots. I don't know if I like that pick. Texans offense wasn't much to like in that game against Pittsburgh. 3 turnovers by CJ Stroud. He really did not look good in that game. I don't think he'll play that bad again. Mike Vrabel, that team, their identity, close win. Could see the Texans covering that 3 points, but Patriots win the game. And Rams Bears, what a game! I mean, all these games, man. Oh my goodness, I'm done counting out on the Bears. I really haven't counted them out all season, but like when you think they're done, they're not done. What a game that was against the Packers! One of the best games I've ever witnessed. Almost turned it off, did not. Very proud of myself in that one. Another one where I want to say the Rams, but how can you count out these Bears? Gosh. Rams should win. Could see the Bears win. I got to hurry up, though. I wish I could get a little bit more into that. But let's get into now the Natty. Miami versus Indiana. This has been what a run it has to get to this moment. Very excited to see what this game entails. Miami's defense, Indiana's offense. I mean, Indiana is a buzzsaw. Let's just be completely honest here. What more can you say than about what this Indiana team is doing? I mean, they are just unstoppable. The definition of unstoppable. It feels like Ohio State season last year where it's just good luck beating this team. Reminiscent of the Bama 2020 team, 19 LSU team. It's just, yeah, I don't know if they're as talented as those two teams, Bama and LSU, in those 2 years, but man, they just know who they are. They know their identity. They know how to win. Mendoza is the most efficient quarterback in college football. I mean, he's thrown less incompletions, or more touchdowns than incompletions in the playoffs. I mean, that is just unreal stat. 8.5. That seems like a lot in a championship, but I could see, my final take. Good game early on. Could see both of the offenses either struggling early or kind of moving it early. I genuinely think we're going to see, some field goals back and forth early on, some good stops by the defense. But I think this Indiana's physicality and their strength and their skill players is just going to be a little too much. I think they're going to attack that secondary a lot more than Ole Miss did throughout. Ole Miss came in with a run game against Miami, trying to get that established. I think Indiana says, Mendoza, find your guys, and I think he will. Give me Indiana. They're going to win double digits in that football game. Hope it's a good one, though. We do not need another bad national championship. I got to get out of here, though. Thank y'all once again for all the support and all the support and everything these past, few weeks, months covering this Ole Miss football team. I really wish I was in Miami right now. Not the worst. I get to see my mom on her birthday now, which is on Sunday. Shout out, Mom. I know you're watching. But yeah, it was an incredible experience. I do wish I was in Miami, but can't wait to bring on more coverage. We'll continue to update you on Trinidad Chambliss and much more. But the show just started from 4 p.m. Stick around right here. We're signing off. I'm Nathan Lee. This was Beyond the End Zone. We'll see y'all not next week. I'm taking off. I'll see y'all in a couple weeks.